I remember sitting on a caravan step, just crying, just like, what could you do about it? You couldn't do it. In fact, it hurts me now. There's nothing you can do about it, you know what I mean? Just awful.
Oh, a lot of people have got a lot. It can never be put right because situations are they are, and they all got, yeah, we'll have learned lesson for this, but they won't learn lessons at all, because but when she got him back, obviously whatever circumstances or whatever lifestyle she chose to live.
We've got to live with us in the cemetery every day, virtually, you know what I mean? You've got, you know, how can you not occur to you? Everybody let Alice down. We didn't, with hindsight, we didn't fight hard enough. We made the right noises, but they were pissing in the wind.
Lorraine came to see Kathy after a few days, but she looked like she wasn't bothered. Kathy said, why ain't she crying? Because if it had been her with their kids, and like I've said, if it were Nicole, if my child died, I'd be in total meltdown. I wouldn't be able to speak to anybody for crying. And she just walked in normal, smiling, and it were weird. It just all seemed weird at that time, but it's like I stuck up for her and said people grieve in different ways, and I even went to stay with Lorraine for a night, and she asked me if she could have Nicole for a week. I said, can you help? I said, you deal with losing your son, because this were only a couple of days after he died, and she was wanting to have my child, and I was like, no. Well, I don't know, so I will mess that.
We just went to graveside and we just took flowers, you know, flowers that everybody'd brought. Because we hadn't got no vases, she was just sticking them in the grave like that. You know what I mean? Just one flower after another. But then she started to go like that with her hands, and she was like getting out soil like that. And I thought, well, I'd better go help her here. So I got down and I started doing it because she wanted to get the soil to put the flowers in. She ended up back at Lingfield Mountain. I think she was there for about a week. And then they arrested her.
My mum were absolutely devastated. As she said, same as the day that she was took into hospital after this stroke, and if she'd have known Lorraine were there, she'd have had something to say. Because she swore blind, she didn't do nothing, you know, to all of us. And then when my mum got to find out, she said, you just should say, I'd shoot her for what she's done. She's no granddaughter of mine.
Bradford Crown Court heard how Harris Dunbar, at the age of just 2, had developed such a craving for methadone that as his mother took it for her heroin addiction in front of him, he'd hold out his arms screaming as if for a fix himself. He died last year after swallowing the equivalent of a teaspoonful of methadone prescribed for his mother's heroin addiction. Lorraine Dunbar is the daughter of the late Bradford playwright Andrea Dunbar, who became famous 20 years ago for her film from Bob 2, about life on the downtrodden Buttershore estate in Bradford. Lorraine was just 11 when her mother died from a suspected brain hemorrhage, and their daughter had descended into drugs by the age of 14. The judge said Dunbar had totally failed as a parent by omission rather than commission.
Well, today she was jailed for 3 years, 9 months for manslaughter by gross neglect of her son Harris.
John Candy reporting. More than 100 mourners have attended the funeral of a teenage
Embroidered it a
boy
little bit, didn't
who was
I?
shot dead in Sheffield.
I didn't think for a minute he'd died of drugs or out related. He'd had methadone and diazepam. Whether he'd been given it or whether he'd taken it off his own free will, you'll never know, will we? Because you can't just go around thinking forever, did she, didn't she, did she, did. I mean, if I thought to myself last night, you have to sit and think, well, whatever happened now, he's not here. Whether she gave him it, whether it picked it up, it shouldn't have been, obviously, been in room it was. And that's all there is to it now. You can either say to her on your bike, and I don't want to see it again, and just think, forget them all and just get on with your own life, or you can think, well, I won't do that, and I'll sit back and, you know, I'll write to you and maybe see you and see how long you get and see what you come out like. I mean,
I don't think it's ever something you come to terms with. The fact of the matter was, I was responsible. It took me over a year to even think and start looking at the fact that this was my fault. You know, I allowed this and I caused this with no intention at all. But I chose drugs over my son. If I wrote a play, I'd do it about Buttershaw Estate. I'd show some people getting their lives together with a lot of courage and determination, but it would also show others going down a big steep hill into a big black hole. Today, I do every day clean and sober. If I ever felt like using, then I'd only have to think of the consequence of losing him, and that's more than enough to keep me clean. I think I had to grow up. I had to see the world as it was and stop blaming it and being very resentful towards everyone. And being angry, I guess.
With having Lorraine, I don't get a chance to knock about with anybody, same as Arbor. I wouldn't say I've got any friends because I don't actually bother with nobody. I keep myself to myself. I think sometimes everybody gets that way, wishing they aren't. And then think, I suppose sometimes you wish you aren't because you want us to do this. But when you've actually got them, I mean, if they were taken away from you, you'd so miss them and want them back. Even though you can't do things you'd like to do. I don't think really they aren't that much trouble. Not as much as what people make them out to be. Maybe it's just Lorraine because she's a good baby, I don't know.